Well, let's see what's on the TV.
It's time to restore the dignity of work in America. That's why I've offered a plan to get this economy moving.
Why, hello there, and welcome to the latest episode of Lyle going through Elden Ring. And this is my character who I'm getting ready for the eventual Elden Ring DLC. And welcome to 2023 as well. This is the first of these Elden Ring playthrough videos I've done for 2023. And as I mentioned, this is something of a community playthrough in the sense that patrons who support me on Patreon get to do stuff like ask questions and choose part of my playthrough. And in that spirit, there is a question from Maple Miyazaki who asks, do you think there will be multiple story DLCs for Elden Ring, or one big one like the old Hunters? And that's a good question. I could see it going either way. I could see us getting another sort of patch-style Coliseum update, but I don't think that'll necessarily be story content. I think that if I was to put money down on something, I would say that I think we're more likely to get one big story DLC, sort of like the old Hunters. But it's interesting because From Software has a few times started with one and ended up doing the other. Like the old Hunters was originally going to be two, and they decided to turn it into one. And then you have the Dark Souls 3 DLC, which I believe was going to originally be one, and it became two. So it could go either way, but I'm thinking with as long as it is taken to announce DLC for Elden Ring, story DLC, paid DLC, that it is likely to be one big DLC. So I've been off of Elden Ring for a minute. I took a couple weeks off from making videos as I did a little bit of a break at the end of the year. Hung out with my family, played a lot of Pokemon. It was a pretty good time. And I'm happy to be back to it. And I'm feeling surprisingly rusty. Yeah. You want to see a picture of King Dedede? Oh my god.
Yeah. He's blue. It also says King Dedede is orange or yellow.
His skin looks to be blue. I have to admit, just being a week, I can't really remember exactly what I was up to, but I think we have Castle Morne on the docket, so I think I'll get over to that in a minute. But right now I'm just hanging out in Stormhills. I keep pushing this, which dismounts me. I think it's because I played like...
Can you hear me?
I think I go to Alexander, but I played like 50 hours of Pokemon in the last 3 weeks. So I think I keep pressing what you use to boost your mount in that game. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, the game feels like strangely slow to me. I wasn't sure why. And I think I know why now, and it's a dark secret I can reveal, which is that I've been watching my friend Patty. He has a really fun Elden Ring series. He's playing Elden Ring for the first time. He's playing through it the first time at level 1. So he's going through it that way, and I'm way behind on the series, and I've been making an effort to catch up lately. So I've been watching his series at 1.5 speed on YouTube like a psychopath. And I think I've been watching it enough lately where it feels like it should be moving 1.5 times faster. Let me know in the comments, do any of you watch or listen to things at increased speed? I get a lot of comments about people saying, watch my video at 1.25, and I'm generally against it, but every once in a while I do it. And I don't feel great about it, but you know, if something's very long and it won't necessarily hurt it, then I'll give it a go. But often I just like to watch and listen to things at regular speed. So how is your 2023 shaping up? We're just into it. I'm curious, did you make any resolutions or anything like that? Let's go get them. I'm not against resolutions at all. I don't often make them, and really, I couldn't think of anything this year. To be honest, I couldn't think of any good resolutions. Hello, big boy.
Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this?
Sure
My
thing.
thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't dally. There's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say.
Andrew Alexander flirting with us. Ooh. Give him a big smack on the rear. Don't worry, he's a pro.
Well played, good sir. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this. Once again, the pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander, in fact. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of
Gonna go get some Radon
Beyond
Festival
these
action.
lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter?
Sure does.
I'm heading to
All right,
Redmane,
buddy.
I've heard.
I'll see you at the Moonvale Cave. But yeah, back to my thing. Have you set any resolutions for 2023? Anything gaming related? I think as close as I'll get is I would like to play some more new releases. There's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. And I think there's fun to be had from playing a game when it comes out and being part of the discourse around and the initial conversations surrounding a game. So I think that would be fun. You son of a bitch. Where'd you go? I love the tibia mariner. The design is so good. So much fun. Woo! Here we go. Not a tough fight, but it's fun. The design is so good, though. That's the... I'm a sucker for just a good design. I think it's a very fun design. A skeleton man in a boat. So while we're around this area, because this is a place with the tibia mariner, a lot of people watching this probably already know this, but you can see the Godwin's eyes all over the place here, and what a cool detail. It's so creepy too. Godwin's watching over the world. These little deathroot clumps. Just such a fun detail, and you got some of that hair, the skin. Just Godwin's corruption spreading across the world. It's where you find those who live in death. It's just one of those things to where you first see this detail and you're just like blown away because it's such a cool and creepy touch. Man, I like vibrating. Which, because the remit of this series is getting ready for some DLC, that's just one of the big things to look forward to with like Oh yes, the turtle place. I wonder if I have a thing. Is just all the new weird areas you'll get to visit. It's just, oh man, I could use that. Turtle Town. I love Turtle Town. Just turtles. Hi, buddies. Give myself a little turtle charm. It's such a cute talisman, too. Turtles are known as a nutritious ingredient, symbolic of inexhaustible power. However, those who hold turtles to be wise creatures consider the practice of eating their meat to be barbarous. So as I move around these graves, I was wondering, another prompt is, what games are y'all looking forward to in 2023? I think it's a pretty good year for games, lots of stuff coming out. I myself am looking forward to Wolong coming out in, what is it, March? Maybe it's February. I'm looking forward to Wolong. I'm coming, buddy. Looking forward to Final Fantasy 16, Tears of the Kingdom. Kenneth, Haight. I'm coming. Yeah, so I think those, Blasphemous 2, obviously, Elden Ring DLC, Armored Core 6. It's going to be a really good year. So what are the top games you're looking forward to? I think for me right now, I think I would have to put probably Blasphemous 2 is way up there for me, hoping to hear some more information about that soon, as well as Wolong and Tears of the Kingdom are all ones that I'm really looking forward to. As well as like Silk Song, but who knows? I can't put any hope in Silk Song at this point. It hurts.
Ah, you've come to lend me your aid, have you? Well, that's very kind, but, no. Despite appearances, nobility is no prerequisite to serving the
I
true
love Kenneth.
order.
Kenneth
You've
Haight,
heard of me? Kenneth Haight. Next in line is
the
the
next
rightful
ruler of
Limgrave.
Limgrave.
Young Tarnished, I would have a boon of you. I want you to take back my fort. It lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. A knight commander from Stormvale took it. A fool! And plumb mad to boot. Simply obsessed with blood. What are you waiting for? A kiss goodbye?
Perhaps.
My fort lies to the
Shame.
south.
I'm
beyond
terrible with
the
names
Mistwood.
today. Perhaps
Take
Kenneth.
it back for me. Oh, fret not. The great Kenneth Haight is... The celebrations will be... Yes. Now, allow me to furnish you with a little advice. I would take great care to avoid Godric's tarnished hunts were I in your shoes. That depraved lot are obsessed with sacrificing tarnished like you for the sake of grafting. Honestly, Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up
I love
country
that.
bumpkin.
A jumped up
Lord?
country bumpkin.
Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Melania, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots rather than die like a man. Has he no shame? The big girl's blouse. And to think, he's the blood of Godfrey, last of the golden lineage. Though you almost wouldn't know it to look at him. Yeah, I almost feel sorry for the chap the more I think of it. What are you waiting for? My fort.
There we go. Thank you, Kenneth. I think the first thing to do is to go get a couple things over here. Approaching Morne, the map fragment, and the seed. Go. Try to avoid getting shot. Ooh. Kaboom. You gonna shoot at me? Yeah. So I should be safe up here. Let's go fight this bastard. I think this is a really cool approach. Little set piece, if that's what you'd call it. pretty neat. Ooh! Right up in my face. Love those golems. And something that I think I'm going to get into more in a separate video, something I'm sort of interested in diving into a little bit, is some of the architecture. And this is Norman architecture, or Romanesque architecture, that predates Gothic architecture and was used more for like castles and fortresses. So it's a design that makes sense, but I just like that because, you know, architecture as an art and as a, you know, practical building thing is something very much tied to a certain time and place, and in video games that can often be used to give a certain, you know, progression and when this may have been built compared to other things with different types of architecture. It also helps identify space, and it gives some, like, you know, it can be a shorthand for cultural meaning that we can bring to the space. It's interesting to think before this place was all jacked up, like, what... Because taking this elevator up seems to be the only way to get into Castle Morne, so this would have been, you know, the main entrance someone would go through. So I'm curious what was here before, if it was just this landscape. You can see some ruins of stuff, so it seems like there was more building, or there's more stuff built in here. I wonder what its everyday use would have been like. I didn't even backstab him. Oh man, that was a bad idea. So the next big pull for patrons that I meant to do before the holidays but did not do is, which of the Shardbearer legacy dungeons should I tackle first? I believe that you can have Stormvale, the Academy, or Radon first, theoretically. Okay, let's go. Hey girls, play upstairs please, and don't play with that because that's not a toy. That's a vacuum cleaner. It is. Play up in your playroom, okay? I don't want you bringing vacuum cleaners down here. One thing I think is an interesting design choice about the way Morne is laid out is that, as far as I can tell, like, you have to come down here before going to this bonfire, or you can't really get back. Just thought it was interesting that they didn't put, like, some rubble over here so that you could make it over this wall, but you couldn't come back if you hadn't found it first. I like seeing these fights where they're going after each other. Oh, I was helping you out, bro. Take an anchor. Nice.
There's a face I've not seen before. I'm Edgar, warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. Well, you can see how things have turned out. The menials have all rebelled. They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morne won't hold much longer. Take this, by way of apology. I see. From Arena. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morne does not fall into the wrong hands.
The first time I played this, I had already had the Sword of Morne on me because I'd already beaten the dude. He was the last thing I did in Castle Morne. And I wish there was something to account for that. Because you're like, well, I have the sword. It's right here, but... Here we go. Ooh, look at that drop. Oh. There we go. So for those interested in board games or more Elden Ring stuff, the Weeping Peninsula and the enemies from Castle Morne are part of the starter set for the Elden Ring board game. And I actually have a video on my channel. I spoke with the lead designer for the Elden Ring board game from Steamforge Games, Sherwin, and it was a really great interview. And Sherwin said that perhaps his favorite boss design-wise is the Leonine Misbegotten, and I'm going to take another look at it here, but it is a very cool design. I really like it myself as well. I wouldn't count it as my favorite, but I love the design of the Misbegotten in general, and I just love the chimera look to them and all the pieces they have going on. And the Leonine Misbegotten was like an early sort of wall, because I came to Weeping Peninsula first myself, so it seemed very fitting. So it's a strong first design. And a pretty fun looking arena too. I like these forts too in Elden Ring, how they have these different fort structures, and you know, they're not like legacy dungeons, but there's these small things, and you know, I wish I'd even seen like more of them really, because they're just fun spots to hang out in. They're like these little samplers of your sort of classic like Dark Souls level design. I just think they're a lot of fun. Woo! Where are you? There you go. Okay. Ooh. Okay. There you go. Alright, let's see how I do against the Leonine Misbegotten. What a neat little looking place. Let's stagger relatively easily. sort of the key. Oh, for some reason. Whoa. Oh shit. Oh. Oh, I was like, yep, that's the end. This one. It's a nice, frenetic fight, though. Okay. But it also does benefit using the shield counters. Oh, fuck, did I die? Come on. I believe this arena with the gravestone is something from that was in some cook content in Dark Souls 3 that we see used here in Elden Ring. Oh, come on. Seriously? Fuck, man. Ooh. Yeah, baby. First try. Crafted blade greatsword. That's Morne for you. Let's read about that crafted blade. Crafted. Did I say crafted twice? Grafted blade greatsword. This is another poll. If you... It'll come up on Patreon for patrons of the right tier. Would you prefer that I continue with the Rusty Anchor or use the Grafted Blade Greatsword as soon as I can wield it with my stats? The Storied Sword of Castle Morne. A revenger's weapon, it is burdened with oceans of anger and regret. One of the legendary armaments. A lone surviving champion from a country now vanished was so determined to continue fighting that he claimed the swords of an entire clan of warriors. And there you have that, the Sword of Morne. Look at this place, pretty cool. A little item over there I should go grab. And as I look out here at the ocean with oceans of regret, I'm going to call it here for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.